Good morning. It is actually a really nice sunny day at the moment. A bit cold, but very pleasant. I've already been out and picked another big bowl of tomatoes from the greenhouse, and I suspect there's at least another bowl full to pick at some point when they finish ripening up. So the tomatoes are getting there slowly. I did realise earlier that anyone watching my videos must think I live in this cardigan, and do you know what? You're probably right. Let me just get the light better. This is my bubble cardigan, a Stephen West design, and it's usually either on my body or in the wash. I wear it most days. It is my most comfortable and wearable around the house cardigan. The sleeves are quite long, so they're usually rolled up, but I do wear it pretty much all the time. I'm tempted to make another one, but it took me 3 days to weave in the ends on this one. Maybe I could make it in one colour next time, because it is very, very wearable and very comfortable. I wasn't sure it would be because it's got this huge shawl collar, but actually it seems to sit on the body quite well. It doesn't slide off like some of my other bigger cardigans. It just took a very long time to knit and a very long time to finish. So also I am making, no I'm not making, I am blocking some shawls, or 2 shawls this morning. I've done the first one. That's my intrusion shawl that I knit a few weeks ago, and I know it's been weeks since I made it and finally getting around to blocking it. All I've done is soak it for a few minutes in like a wool wash. I think it's Uralan, I think I've got something like that anyway, just to help it soften up and bloom. And I have put that, I kind of squoze it out and done what I don't normally do, and I've just hung it on the washing line, kind of folded over twice to like drip dry and then blow a little bit because there's a bit of a breeze outside. Not windy, but a little breeze. Normally I would put things that I block in my spinner. I have a standalone spinner from when I was dyeing yarn, but it's a bit buried at the moment because it lives in the sun lounge, and because we're doing the floor it's been put behind other things. So I'm just going to let it drip dry and squeeze it out every so often, and then let it blow, and then when it's pretty much mostly dry you can come in and be aired off properly. I do need to probably use a slightly damp cloth and an iron on that, on the border, because it has a double border, and to get them to sit right, if I pin it, because it's a rounded edge border as opposed to like a picot edge like it should have been, if I pin it out it's going to be a funny shape, so I will just press it with a cloth on top. I also need to weave in the ends on my dotted rays shawl, and then I can block that and put that out as well. So that's my next task. Hopefully, I know there's quite a few ends to weave on that, but hopefully it shouldn't take too long. you can hear a load of noise and scraping and banging, it's because John is doing some rendering of the gable end today, and he's up on the sun lounge roof currently and making quite a bracket. He's actually quiet at the moment, but it keeps randomly making scraping and banging noises. So just a little while ago I finished the gusset of the second sock of my Halloween socks. I'm hoping to get these finished, if not today then tomorrow. I'm hoping to get them done today. I should, if I focus on these for like the rest of the day and this evening, I should hopefully get these finished, and then maybe just have to do the Kitchener stitch of the toe in the morning, and then maybe I can actually wear these this year for Halloween, which would be great if I could. First thing, I keep unzipping bags, apologies for that. First thing this morning I started doing a bit on these socks that I cast on. These were originally going to be the Cozy Autumn socks by This Handmade Life, and I'd done the toe and started the first pattern repeat of the lace work. I finished the first pattern repeat today, like earlier, and decided it wasn't worth it for the yarn that I'm using. I'm using this one, which is a Rico, I think it's Superba Vintage, something like that, and it's just too variegated. The colour is just too dark and variegated, and the lace work just wasn't showing up. So I ripped out the repeat that I'd done, and I've just put it on a short circular instead of my magic loop, and these are just going to be vanilla socks. But there's no rush for these, but they are set up for if I just want something mindless to knit on, and they'll be ready for after Halloween for November knitting. So yes, I'm coming on, like this is my Halloween socks are almost ready for wearing, and I'm at that point where I just kind of want to cast everything off and start on new projects, which obviously there's the Halloween socks, so that shouldn't take too long, but the Flora sweater that I ripped back is going to take a few evenings to finish, so that's going to take, well, I don't think it'll be finished before next week. And then once I've got those two items off the needles, all I will have on the needles that I'm working on are the new autumn socks that I've shown you and the Witching Hour cardigan, and then I can just focus on them and maybe even cast on a Christmas sock. Once we get into November, I'll be itching to start the festive socks to wear over December, and to go in my box of socks as well. So yes, that is the knitting, the current knitting situation. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do today is, this afternoon, is make some homemade pizza sauce, because I picked quite a few tomatoes from the greenhouse this morning. I think the bigger tomatoes, the Dr. Carolyn's, the more of a fleshy tomato, I'm thinking I might make a small batch of homemade pizza sauce. If you watched last year's Vlogtober, you'll have seen how to make it, but it's basically just sauteing down onions, garlic, grated carrot, I've got a red pepper, tomatoes, and then any herbs and salt, pepper and such like, and just cook it down until it's all sauté the frying things like the onions and the peppers, and then adding the carrots and the tomato stuff and sauteing them down until they're a nice, cooking out the tomatoes until they're a nice thick paste basically, and that'll probably go into the freezer for the winter months. We haven't had as many tomatoes this year as last year, unfortunately. I may even do homemade pizza for tea, but if I do that, it'll be with some of the cherry tomatoes and make more of a fresh tomato pizza, what I call a fresh tomato pizza, which is where you instead of putting a sauce on your base, you just put lots of chopped fresh tomato on instead. Works best, I find, with either cherry tomatoes or like a quite a strongly flavoured main crop type tomato. The Dr. Carolyn's I made a pizza with, and I found that it didn't have enough tomatoey flavour to it. It just wasn't, it was not that it was bland, it just wasn't as flavourful as we would like. But we do have quite a few cherry tomatoes, so I think I might make a homemade pizza. Not sure what's going to go on it though. Whatever I've got lying around in the fridge, really. I know I've got some mushrooms. Well, you nearly always got mushrooms in the fridge. Okay, so I'm gonna find out how John's getting along with what he's doing, and then maybe I'll start making that pizza sauce. Well, I managed just in time on the way to bed. Well, obviously I'm not done it on the way to bed. I think, well, I've managed to weave in, not weaving, tired, do the kitchen stitch whilst John is sorting out, giving the cats their supper treats and such like. So yes, managed to get it complete. I now have 2 finished Halloween socks. I have many ends that still need to be woven in, but I managed to finish them in October, which is fantastic. I did think I was going to be able to wear these, then I remembered these are going in my box of socks. But at least they'll be available to wear. Well, I could, I mean I could wear them and then I could wash them and put them in my box of socks. But then, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. But I can either wear these for Halloween, or I can save them for next Halloween and wear them all month. Or just wear them all year round, which is basically what I do with all my seasonal socks. I am looking forward to moving on to Christmas socks, I have to say. Although I do still have one more pair of autumn socks to finish off first. But otherwise we'll be on to festive ones. So yes, really happy with them. The cast on the second one, which is the second one? That one. Which is the second one? This one. I cast on with a 2.75mm needle instead of the 2.25, and it has got, I haven't actually tried it on my foot yet, but I would say it's got about an extra, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show that on camera. Let me see if I can. I stretch it right out. I don't know if that, oh yeah, it does show. If my camera will focus. It doesn't want to focus, it wants to focus on me. there, you can just see over here, this, my finger at the back, it is, I can't get this to work, my fingers won't coordinate, right, you can just see it's a little bit longer, but not by much. It says a little bit, it's about, probably about ½ inch extra circumference than the first one. So I'll see how they fit, and if I'm happy with the cast on, I will do that for future top down socks on the rare occurrences that I do them. And if I still think I'm not happy with it, then I'll just use a 3mm needle for the cast on edge. But yes, these are finished, and I'm really glad they're finally done and that I can move on to doing other things now. So I'm going to leave this video here for this evening, and I will speak to you again tomorrow. Bye bye.